What if I told you that most of what we call love is an unconscious job posting, written by your biology or your culture or your wounds, that's looking to hire? No one teaches us how to do relationships. So when things get real, we don't choose from awareness. We revert back to the original code, the one designed by evolution to make sure that your genes survive. Or cultural norms that dictate gender roles, like who pays on a first date, or childhood wounds that we're still trying to recreate from trauma. But that's like using a typewriter to send an email. It's outdated, it's inefficient, and worst of all, it often never ends well. Hi, my name's Chris Hinton. I'm an author and I coach people one-on-one to help them see blind spots they didn't even know were there. And what I'm about to tell you is going to go down like a shot of cheap whiskey. It might burn, but I hope that burn wakes you up to the things you haven't seen that you will see after listening to this. So let's get into it. Now, before I walk you through these patterns, I want to be really clear. This isn't about judgment. This isn't about labeling people as toxic, broken, or wrong. This is about looking behind the curtain to understand why people do what they do and why you keep hiring them without realizing what part of you wrote the job description in the first place. Because here's the truth. Most people don't build relationships. They build coping mechanisms with legs. They hire people to manage wounds, not to build a life. They're choosing from survival, not from wholeness. Sometimes they're choosing from evolution, sometimes from culture, sometimes from fear, sometimes from guilt or shame. So let this next part feel like help during your next hiring process, not with blame, but with awareness. Number one, the single mother hiring a father figure. Maybe she doesn't want a soulmate. Maybe she wants a paternal presence, not consciously, but culturally, or biologically, to provide for her and her offspring. Because she's been told that good moms give their kids a stable man. So she hires a man to validate her as a mother culturally and forgets to ask, do I really want him as a partner to thrive with me over the long haul? What part is talking? That culturally conditioned provider seeker? Hidden job posting, seeking a man to complete the family picture. 2, the man who needs to be needed. He doesn't want a partner, he wants a project, because somewhere along the way he learned that unless he's fixing something, he doesn't matter. So he keeps choosing women who are emotionally bleeding, because if they don't need him, he doesn't know who he is. What part is talking in him? Maybe the shame-coded rescuer. Hidden job posting, looking for a broken woman to make me feel whole. Imagine if these two partnered. Might work, might not. But the point is, they hired each other for cultural or biological reasons, not from reciprocated partnership that can stand the test of time. So what happens when she no longer needs that paternal role? What happens when he realizes that his wholeness isn't being made whole? 3, the woman who uses sex to secure safety. She's not promiscuous, she's performing. She was taught early on that her value is being in desire, so she leads with her body, hoping that physical closeness will buy emotional connection. What part is talking? That abandonment-fearing villager soaked in shame? Hidden job posting, offering intimacy in exchange for reassurance. And when reassurance fails, she's left feeling empty, wishing someone would see her worth for more than just her body. But she never realized this is what happens when you bait your hook with sexuality and wonder why you catch a fish that only wants the bait. Number 4, the man who buys his way into love. He was told real men provide, so he pays, he performs, he proves. But what he's really doing is trying to purchase loyalty. Covert contract. Because deep down, he's afraid he's not lovable unless there's a receipt from the purchase. What part's talking? That transactional worth villager. Hidden job posting, hiring a woman who will stay because I make life easier. But this man never bought love. He bought transacted value, and when the money stops, so does the transaction. Number 5, the first date audit. This one's a little tricky. A woman expects a man to pay on the first date, not because she's selfish, but because her nervous system is still scanning for safety. She's not asking, do I like this man? She's asking, would this man freely give his resources for access to me or my offspring? And culturally, this is reinforced. She's told her time is more valuable than his, so he must pay to gain access. This dynamic sets the pace for pay to play. It telegraphs, I'm available, to the highest bidder. What part's talking? That ancient mating filter wrapped in modern rules. Hidden job posting, seeking future provider based on appetizer generosity. That's not a partnership, that's an audition. And it goes both ways. It may have told the man, I have to pay just to be your friend. 6, the protector trap, Captain Save-A-Ho edition. He wants to save her, not because she asked, but because needing to be needed is the only way that he's ever felt valuable. He doesn't ask, do I love her? He asks, does she need me enough to keep me? What part is talking? That worth through suffering villager? Hidden job posting, hiring a woman to justify my exhaustion and call it love. None of this is evil. None of this is shameful. But pretending that this is love when it's really survival craft is why you keep getting burned. Because when you don't know who's talking inside of you, you'll keep hiring the same people for the same job and wonder why it keeps failing. So before you chase chemistry, before you fall in love with potential, before you give your life away on autopilot, ask yourself, what position am I hiring for? And what part of me wrote the job description? Was it my peace? Was it my pain? Was it my programming? Was it cultural narratives from the past? Because love that starts in shame will always demand performance. But love that starts in awareness, that invites partnership. And if you don't know who's talking, you'll keep calling survival destiny. You'll keep calling patterns your type. You'll keep calling exhaustion loyalty. And you'll wonder why love never feels like peace. So if this hits you, please drop a comment below. What's one preference or pattern that you now realize might have been a survival strategy in disguise? Grab my book, Who's Talking, on Amazon. Follow me here on TikTok, subscribe on YouTube, come find me on Instagram. If you're ready for one-on-one coaching, I've got a seat for you. We don't rise through instinct, we rise through awareness. One villager at a time. So, I hope this helped. If not, well, it was free. See y'all next time.